As you guys know, my favorite thing to do is create accessible guides and teams to share with everyone. However, because I've been playing Raid for several years now, I've progressed my account a lot, including a ton of lucky pulls, all of which you guys have seen since I share all of my opening sessions on YouTube. So occasionally, I'd like to share some completely inaccessible teams and content, and no one can stop me. So here is my 5-turn hard Spider 10 team that I finally built. First, let's talk a little bit about the previous team. It was a mashup of Hex, max HP hitters, and HP burn activation. I was using Mithrala, Coldheart, Artak, Gnut, and Royal Guard. The team took about 40 seconds, and I was only able to do hard 6, which is void. Otherwise, I started running into affinity issues. This was okay for me for a while because I don't spend, so I never have that much energy to use anyway, and I'll never be in a situation where I need to run Spider hard 10,000 times back to back. But at the bottom of my heart, I still knew this team really needed to be improved. But it sat on the back burner for a long time. Eventually, I pulled a second Stokk the Broken after completing the fusion because it just wouldn't be complete without pulling a dupe of the fusion. And I also pulled some irresistible HP burners like Walking Tomb Drang and a dupe Ignatius. Sam Solstice, who is a hilarious content creator and a great editor if you're not familiar with her work, left a comment on one of my videos that was like, hey, by the way, you could do a really good Spider 10 team with double Stokk and some of the other stuff you have. This was helpful because I hadn't even considered it. I've just forgotten about the Spider team by this point, but I was glad that I finally had the makings of a halfway decent team. Due to my utter lack of urgency in building this team and doing anything in Raid Shadow Legends in general, I actually pulled even better champs before building it, like Teodor and Wallmaster, so the Ignatius thing kind of went out the window. After about 2 months of Sam leaving the comment, I finally DM'd her and asked for help with the team. Unfortunately, the DMs have to be redacted for being too sexy. She gave me a lot of great information, like Stokk having a 20% speed aura in all battles, which makes the speeds way more manageable. According to Sam, the champs have to be 245 speed or higher with the aura, which isn't that bad for the highest level of a hard dungeon. There are also 2 spiderlings that only spawn after your first champion has taken their turn, which I didn't know about at all. She alleviates this by having one champion, in her case, Coldheart, take a turn first so that all of the spiderlings are present when you start burning the other spiderlings. Artak is my fastest champion who places the burn. The burn is then activated by Stokk and Teodor. The order of those two doesn't matter. And then finally, Wallmaster cleans up the spiderlings and Gnut finishes up the boss. As you can see, unfortunately, I wasn't able to take Sam's advice about making sure the last 2 spiderlings have spawned first. My Artak has 277 speed, and I don't have a lot of champions randomly lying around who are faster than that. So I just went with the team as it was, but I could definitely shave off a little bit more time by allowing those spiderlings to spawn. Ideally, in talking to Sam, Gnut should go first, but I just rebuilt Gnut and Flea Reflex, and I'm not mentally ready to look at that build until at least 2027 or so. When I first sent Sam a screenshot of the win screen, she asked me why it was 6 turns. Since I only have 5 champs, it should be 5 turns, right? I explained that it was probably the Wallmaster self buff giving this extra turn, but her comment made me realize that the Wallmaster buff was probably completely unnecessary for us to actually win the fight. So I turned off his self buff in the team setup, and we shaved the runs to 12 seconds and 5 turns. Here is a quick flyby of the builds for anyone curious. Maybe we can play some soothing music over this part. Actually, no, we can't. I don't have the copyright for any of that. Anyway, like I said earlier, 245 is the minimum speed here, but most of my champs are faster because they're some of my best champs that I use all over the place, like Teodor. I know other people have better spider teams or teams that allow them to farm food at the same time, but 12 seconds, 5 turns is more than enough for me because I'll never have enough energy on free to play to be excessively farming this dungeon. Shout out to Sam for helping me and pushing me to improve the team. Subscribe to her if you haven't already. And as always, thank you for taking the time to engage with my video today, and take care of yourselves. Goodbye!